I think a lot of us nowadays turn a blind eye to the shady reality lurking beneath the surface of many of our modern distractions, so that we can continue to get distracted by them. Whether this is the unethical and inhumane working conditions which Amazon subject their employees to, all the while managing to avoid paying basically any tax.
Yeah, but they sell virtually everything and it's so cheap and comes so fast, bro.
Or the environmental and health implications behind many of our favourite fast food products. Sure, that Big Mac costs a couple of dollars,
But what's the real cost? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it tastes so good and there's one on every corner.
or the slimy and sickening deviant sexual abuses which appear to be rampant in Hollywood and the film and entertainment industry, including what seems like the systematic grooming and abuse of child stars.
Yeah, but superheroes and explosions, bro. It's cool, you know?
Or the unsafe sweatshops and virtual slave labour involved in the production of many of our favourite products, not to mention the third world countries whose natural resources are plundered and stolen in the process, leaving sickness, devastation and poverty behind.
Yeah, but I need the latest iPhone, bro, and this shirt's only £1, bro.
There are many more examples, but I think this is enough to paint a picture, and more or less everyone does this to varying degrees, and I myself am no different. But there is one industry that I love and is a huge part of my life which is deeply rotten and sick at its core, and it's becoming harder and harder for me to ignore this decay and continue indulging in it. For as long as I can remember, I've loved football. In fact, one of my happiest and most vivid early memories is of when I was 7 or 8 in my grandparents' house in France, watching the '98 World Cup final between France and Brazil, which France would go on to win 3-0, courtesy of two brilliant-headed Zinedine Zidane goals. I don't think I've ever seen my grandparents or mother as happy as they were the night that their nation lifted the World Cup. They were singing and dancing and shouting and leaping with pure, unbridled joy. We were all hugging each other, and the celebrations went long into the night. Such is the power of football. It can bring people together. It can harbour a sense of connection and togetherness, and I have dedicated a decent chunk of my life to following the beautiful game. However, over the last couple of years, some developments and changes within the game have forced me to turn a blind eye because the way it's progressing no longer aligns with my values. I'm talking specifically about the grotesque amount of money which is being spent on player transfers and wages within the male game. This has been steadily increasing over the past decade, a small COVID related blip aside, reaching a peak this summer where a mammoth $5 billion was accumulated on player sales, with nearly half of that being splurged in the English Premier League. Hundreds of millions being spent just to acquire the services of an athlete, no matter how good they are, and then to pay them millions every month in some cases, just seems so far removed from the working class roots of the game that it's hard to stomach. Add to this player agents pocketing tens of millions simply for facilitating a deal, and you get the picture of football becoming a bloated and overvalued industry which is essentially exploiting the deep connection and love people have for the game and their clubs, a connection which stems from a lifetime of immensely emotional experiences like the one I mentioned at the top of this video. And of course, whenever you have so much money gathered in one place, then there's always a culture which can cultivate corruption, and evidence of such criminality and fraud has come to light in recent years, with the dodgy dealings of former FIFA President Sepp Blatter, former UEFA President Michel Platini, and the Confederation of North Central America and Caribbean Association Football engaging in dodgy dealings and missing millions, to name but a few examples. Even the measures set up to tackle such rampant spending seem corrupt, as the financial fair play system has tried to punish teams like Manchester City, who seem to blatantly flaunt these rules by banning them from prestigious and profitable club tournaments like the Champions League, only for these rulings to be overturned on a technicality. Having said all this, however, I don't see there being a time when I won't turn a blind eye to this sickening situation so that I can enjoy my favourite sport. The quality of matches just seems to be getting better and better. The exquisite drama served up by Real Madrid in last season's Champions League was perhaps the pinnacle of this. What is more likely is that football will collapse under the weight of its own massively inflated value and cease to exist in the way that I know and love it today. Until then, I'll continue to stick my head in the sand and enjoy the unparalleled spectacle of the beautiful game.